Joining me today is Amit Kapur. He is the head of TCS for UK and Ireland. Amit, many thanks for speaking to PTI.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Amit, what are your expansion plans for the UK and Ireland markets in terms of hiring, in terms of innovation, and expanding your delivery capabilities here?
So UK and I today is second largest market for TCS globally. We contribute a little less than 17%, 16.8 to be precise, part of global business of TCS. It's a marquee market wherein we answer two questions beautifully. One is what does it mean to TCS and what does TCS mean to UK? So I think we have mastered the art of answering both the questions crisply. But at the end of the day, I think if you look at the long run, the investment profile in a market like UK continues for us. We continue to invest in talent. We continue to invest in innovation. Our passport in London continues to thrive, solving customer problems in collaboration with academics, in collaboration with startups. So we are thriving an ecosystem which brings the solutions closer to the industry.
How is the outsourcing demand environment in the UK? What are the clients telling you at this point of time?
I would say it's healthy conversations, quite varied nature, whether it is on nature reflecting reimagination of operating model, whether it is reimagination of the talent for the future, whether workplace for the future, or in terms of keeping agility and observability in terms of making it lean. But at the same time, what is required for it to pivot to a new business growth model. So we see a lot of nuances in terms of colors of those conversations. Healthy conversations across industries, will not call out a single one wherein we see it bulging more. But the element of all these conversations is that they have to translate at a right point in time. And I see that possibly that's the momentum we are living in.
Amit, take us through the announcement today, the deal that has been signed between Virgin Atlantic and Tata Consultancy Services. What does it mean for Virgin Atlantic's IT systems?
It's been a very marquee relationship for us. Virgin Atlantic and TCS go back 20 years. It's been a relationship which has been built on trust. I think Shai very beautifully put it earlier that we are taking the vows again in the marriage, and that's possibly the moment that it is. The world has changed. There's a lot of changes which has happened in tech, a lot of changes in the customer expectations, a lot of expectations in terms of passenger experience. So we've seen a lot of changes go by. I think it was a moment for us to reset and see what new can be done in the partnership. So a lot of work on the ground of innovation, a lot of work on the ground of tech transformation, and everything that will bring possibly a new agility in a business model.
Take us through the nuances of what this contract really means in terms of what you're going to transform, what you're going to do with Virgin Atlantic's existing IT tech stack. What does it mean in terms of passenger convenience? There's this focus on hyper-personalized offerings, and Shai was talking about samosas and the Indianization of services, but also the tech command center, which is which is part of this deal. Take us through the different angles and different different ways of looking at what this contract is going to really do for Virgin Atlantic.
See, if I sum it up for everyone's consumption, it will do two broad things. One is it will strengthen the core engine on which the airline operates, make it leaner, make it efficient, and ensure that it has the agility and resilience. Second thing it will do is stimulate growth. Virgin has big ambitions of connecting more passengers, transporting more journeys, making it personalized, as Shai mentioned as well. I think on these two broad pillars is where the partnership lies. So strengthening the core and stimulating growth, again on the back of tech transformation, talent transformation, the ways of working, and essentially looking at what's happening outside in as well.
How big is the contract in terms of the financials?
So we'll not get into numbers, but I would say it's vows of the marriage of an iconic brand in the UK and a global brand as TCS, which stands for trust and authenticity. I think you put a multiplier effect to these two, that's the magic.
Amit, if I just step back a bit, how important is this deal given the current environment? So over the last year and a half, there's been this huge market uncertainty. Now there are geopolitical risks as well. There are trade tariff wars that are ongoing. And there was a sense that, perhaps IT outsourcing might just start seeing some green shoots, later this year. All of those hopes were quashed with all of these, trade negotiations and trade wars that happened. Coming at a time like this, where there's so much of volatility in the market, how important is this deal? Is it a feather in your cap in that sense, getting a contract, such a, marquee brand name per se, and a contract that, goes into different facets of the aviation sector?
See, no doubts, every relationship is very, very precious, very important. I think if you look back on the UK business, and if I speak for the last 8 odd years, possibly a little longer, I think there is one or the other macro which has overshadowed the economy. Whether it started with Brexit, then was pandemic, cost of living, there's been war, there is fear of recession, there's tariff expectations and things like that. So I think the British businesses, to their credit, have felt these macroeconomics, but have stayed close to consumers, stayed close to employees, and have continued the path of decision making. I think when we look at our relationship with Virgin, it is possibly a reflection of that decision making, that while we know that there are uncertainties around, but there are elements that we can do and prepare ourselves for. I think that's where this deal goes through.
Is the customer sentiment better now than what you started the year with? And when do you see a revival in demand?
I think the sense of demand is possibly common for both of us. We both speak to almost the same stakeholders. So tough to put a color of Jan versus June or things like that. But as I said, we are in the middle of many healthy conversations, so we remain confident. In terms of FTA, yes, UK, India have signed the FTA. I think it still has a year plus for it to be effective in nature on ground. But there are a lot of excitement points as a larger industry for the two nations to further build the businesses together. I think a lot of excitement in the local economies on what can be done on the back of this, but I'm sure it will be multiplying much more than that.
Where do you sit today and the kind of uncertainties that there are? What are the big opportunities for companies like TCS in UK and Ireland?
See, there are a lot of tech transformation trends. GenAI is of course right up there, but it is more than a tech transformation. It's also possibly a change in societal configuration. I think if you take that kind of a lens, there is so much of possibility which arises on the back of that. Cloud, cyber and data continue to be on the front and center for every conversation that we are having with enterprises. Most of the enterprises are also looking at how to strengthen the core, and whether that is in the back of enterprise transformation, relooking at their operations, can it be the AI led, can they be more intelligent, how to make the lens of an organization becoming more diversified in terms of its ability to decision making. I think we're seeing a lot of those demand nature coming in. A lot of it is underpinned by operating model conversations as well, so that agility is not compromised on what you want to do for the future. So I think that's essentially is the nature of the discussion.
How big a piece is artificial intelligence and GenAI? Are all the conversations on outsourcing now coming with this, sort of tagged in as a demand from the client saying, we want this piece in when we look at IT transformation?
I think the conversations are essentially around what can it do for IT, what can I do for operations, and what can I do for business. So our conversations are more comprehensive. Rather than on a select piece of an opportunity in question, it takes a grander view on what IP can we bring to the fore, what content of domain intelligence, domain contextual knowledge can we bring to the core, and given our expertise in varied industries, we feel confident to do that across the 3 dimensions of AI in IT, AI in operations, and as I said, AI in business as well.
Amit, how do you look at artificial intelligence and all the concerns that, that the world is talking about today in terms of ethical use of AI, data privacy, AI hallucinations? And do you think AI will displace labor at some point of time? The India's economic survey has been constantly talking about fears around that, whether AI, the advent of AI and full-fledged use of AI at some point of time will displace. And what really are the solutions then?
I think whenever there is any change, there are opportunities. So I look at those opportunities more positively. Of course, any opportunity must come with its own guardrails for it to be safe for the future. GenAI in specific is also, as I said, a societal transformation. And if we look at guardrails from that lens, it will open up many more opportunities for us to again multiply the growth that we are currently forecasting it to bring.
Thank you so much for speaking to PTI. Many thanks, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Really a pleasure. Thank you.